Welcome to another episode of the Creatress of Freedom podcast. Hello, babe. How are you? Oh my gosh. I'm so happy to be dropping on in with you again today. If you are new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are an OG, hi. How are you, babe? So nice to see you, hear you, feel you, be here with you in this space right now. I'm so excited to have this conversation with you today. And I'm so happy that you have landed here as well, because the fact that you've landed here tells me that you are ready to really deepen into what's next for you. So I really want to share. Um, oh my gosh, there's so much I want to share with you today. I really want to share with you how Evolve was birthed, which is my salon mastermind container. And I want to talk a little bit today about who it's for, why you would consider coming into this space, and just what you can expect on the other side of being inside this beautiful, beautiful container. So let's delve straight into it, because I know your time is precious and I'm just really excited to be jumping on in and pouring this beautiful information, these words of wisdom into you today. So let's get started. Oh my goodness. Evolve. Wowzers. Evolve is just my heart and soul is inside Evolve. My mission is Evolve. It's not until you realize all of the journey that you went on and you look back and you connect the dots that you realize, oh my gosh, it makes sense now, right? It makes so much sense. And so this is how Evolve came about. So I want to take you back a little bit in time to my very first moments of being a salon owner. And it was the dream. I remember being a little girl and really wanting to just be a part of the hair and beauty industry. I wanted to have a salon. I wanted to, it was like there's that little girl dream, right? And I'm sure that you probably also felt that too. I remember sitting in my nan's house with her sister, who is no longer with us, but she's actually one of my guides, believe it or not. And I'm so honored to be able to have this connection with her, even though she's not here on Earthside. And I remember her letting me do her hair, and she was like, probably really, when I think back to it, she's the one that introduced me to lipstick. Like, oh my gosh, she always had a handbag full of lipsticks, and I was always like, Auntie Millie, can you put some lipstick on me today? Can I put some lipstick on you? And I can still picture her face puckering up her lips and showing me how to put lipstick on. It's such a beautiful fond memory that I have. And so that's probably like the very first early memories that I have of like really wanting to be in the hair and beauty industry. I reckon I was maybe about age 6 that I really started to have that. My nan had this bucket in her bathroom, and it had all these hair clips and bobby pins and you name it. It was full of hair stuff. And so Auntie Millie would often let me just go crazy on her hair, and she'd always tell me how beautiful she felt. So I knew that I wanted to be a part of the hair and beauty industry from a very, very young age. And so, I went through that entrepreneurial journey of going and doing my apprenticeship. I actually started in the industry at age 14. And then after age 14, I shifted into my apprenticeship, because my parents had this rule that I was not allowed to start an apprenticeship unless I had at least completed year 10. So I had to complete year 10 before I moved full time into the hair and beauty industry. So I started my hairdressing apprenticeship in a really, really crazy but super successful salon in Bendigo, Victoria, in Australia. And, it was one of the top salons known in the area. We had like 16 staff. We were open from 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., Monday through to Friday. And Saturday was like 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. And we would all do split shifts. Some would start crazy hours from do the 9 till 4. And then you'd have another staff member that would start and do 4 till 10. Insane. The hardest part of my career was my apprenticeship, because man, did I have a hard boss. I had a male boss, and he was so hard. His moods and his temperament was, you never knew what you were going to expect. For the day, you would sneak in the back door and you would ask the girls, how's his mood today? And you would kind of gauge off what they were giving you before you would step out on the salon floor. However, whilst it was the most hardest apprenticeship, the hardest workplace that I've ever worked in, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for that experience, because I know without that kind of experience, I wouldn't be the woman that I am today, and I wouldn't be the businesswoman that I am today, because I learned the resilience, like the resilience and the way that he showed up for his business and for his clients was phenomenal. And I think that he played a huge part in my success later on in life. And so I am truly grateful for that. And then I moved into my own space, and I bought a house with my then partner, and we decked out this bungalow into a home salon. And so I worked from home for a long time, and that was amazing. Like, again, that was like the next dream, was to have this beautiful space and this beautiful salon, and be able to duck inside and cook dinner, but then also throw the washing on mid processing client. It was a great experience, until we had a relationship breakdown, and all of a sudden we had to sell the house because we were no longer going to be together anymore. So then I was like, well, I don't know what the fuck to do now. So in the interim of all of that, I started looking for other opportunities. And so I started looking maybe to buy a house and start doing my own space. But I really didn't want to buy a house at this stage, like another house. And then I was like, well, maybe I go and rent a chair off a space. So that's what I did. I went and I rented a space, and oh my gosh, like, again, that was amazing. It was a daily rate, and the daily rate was like, I think I worked out that if I did like three 12-hour days, I was only paying minimal amount, but I was making the most amount that I could, because it was a daily rate rather than spreading it out over the week. And then I decided I wanted to pack up and I wanted to move. So then I shifted and I moved from Bendigo through to Gippsland, and I opened up a commercial salon. And oh my gosh, was that like so exciting, because like that was the dream, right? Kind of been playing a little bit small, had these stepping stones of a home salon, moving into a commercial space, but renting a chair, and then moving into an actual commercial space that was mine and that I could renovate. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. But it also came with so many challenges. And I'm sure that you can probably relate to the challenges that having a commercial premises brings, from, renovations exceeding the budget, to working excessive hours but not really feeling like you're getting anywhere, to hiring teams but feeling like it's useless hiring a team because you could just do it better yourself, right? They're not actually relieving the stress load that you were hoping that they were going to relieve. And now all of a sudden you've got more expenses that you're trying to cater for, and again, you're the one missing out on a wage because you've got all these other wages that you now have to pay for. And so I went through this journey of like, I love what I do, but fuck, this is hard. This is really hard. And I don't know how I'm going to keep doing this. And so, from a financial perspective, it was really challenging. I ended up in a lot of debt. I had the vision and I knew that I could make it work, but financially, I just didn't know what I was doing wrong. And so, from here, got to like the end of this year in 2018. Yeah, 2017. I got to the end of 2017 and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't. I was in nearly, I think it was about $85,000 worth of debt, with credit cards, overdraft accounts, business loans. And I also crazily, stupidly went out and bought a brand new car as well, that I also put on a car loan, a business car loan. So I had that on top of it. The business was really not in a financial position to buy a car, but I was like, fuck it, whatever, I can make this work. And I was honestly under so much financial pressure and stress that it all come to an end, because I was like, I can't keep doing this anymore. My health was deteriorating. I had not enough money coming through the doors. I also stepped into network marketing as well at the time, because I was like, the business is not making enough money to cover the bills and the expenses, and I'm not being paid. So my new partner at the time, I actually vulnerably shared with him where I was really at, because, from the outside, being a business owner, everyone thinks that you're living the fucking dream, and it's really hard. And we had this conversation that, come the end of that year, I was going to close the doors and I was going to walk away. And that was what I was thinking, doors are going to get closed and I'm going to move full time into my network marketing company. But there was this part of me that still had like a fire was burning. The flames were not there anymore, but there were some embers. And I was like, I'm not ready to give this up yet. I'm really not ready. I know that I can make this work. I don't know what I'm doing wrong and I don't know what help I need, but I'm not ready to give it up yet. And so I had a client at the time come to me and she said, Hey, Annie, there's a shop that's vacant in the main street. Maybe moving the shop a little bit closer to town would be highly beneficial for you. And I was like, yeah, maybe it would be. So I remember having the conversation with Troy about it, my partner at the time. And he was like, well, if anyone's going to make it work, like it's going to be you. But let's give it 3 months. If you're not making, profit within the 3 months, we're not going to keep pouring money into a business that's not being sustainable. And so I was like, yes, I can do this. So we literally shifted everything with bare minimal money. We gutted the other salon and moved cabinetry and made everything fit. So the shop fit out was very, very minimal costs. Troy's dad was also a builder, and so he did a lot of the works inside the salon, which I'm truly grateful for. Bless him, he's not here anymore with us. But it was amazing, right? And I had this new spark that was driven. So I was like keen to work crazy hours. I wanted to make it work. I'd lost all of my team by this stage because I didn't know how to fucking lead them at all. And it was just back to me being solo. So I was like, let's go. Head down, bum up. We can make this work. Troy's given me 3 months. I've got to make this work, right? And so from there, I hustled my tushy off. We moved in the September. And the December was the best month I had ever had in business. I think I had like almost a $40,000 month on my own. So I was booking holidays. I was booking trips for Troy and I was booking trips for the kids and I. And as a family, we were booking cruises. Troy and I were going to Vietnam. I was doing multiple international trips. I had, started to feel confident in my finances again. We were, things were looking pretty. We'd also sold our house as well prior to this because financially things were just a little bit tight and we wanted a fresh start as well. So, there was a lot of moving parts that kind of contributed to all of this. And so I was determined to make it work. December was amazing. And then January rolled around and I was like, what the fuck? I was back down to zero money in the bank account because the incredible December I just had, I started booking out trips and spent all this money. And with the kids had the best Christmas and Troy had like $500 presents and it was insane. But it was this new level of money that I had never experienced before, but I knew that I was worthy of it. And I knew that was capable of being able to bring this money in. And I was fucking excited because I was like, yes, I've made it. I've made it. But then that January rolled around and everything like died in its ass again. And I didn't have the clients coming in. And January felt like I was back to, $500 weeks. And I was like, I don't know how to get out of this. And so from there, that's when I then shifted into I actually had this Facebook ad come up and it was, do you wish that your January was as good as your December? And I was like, oh my gosh, she's talking to my soul. So I like entered my details and it was for some kind of checklist or something like that. And next minute, I know I'm getting a phone call from this mentor, and she is giving me this opportunity to come and work in her space. And that call changed my life because all of a sudden, I understood why the business had failed in January, why I was having these massive like ups and downs, and why I lost all my team, and why I was not keeping clients. I was given all this information as to why business was so hard. And the thing is that I had not learned anything business related skills. I was great at doing my job, and that was as far as it went. And so then all of a sudden you throw a business into the mix, and what do you do to keep trying to grow the business? What you do is you keep doing what you're good at, which is working with clients. But that is not the way to grow a business. You have to learn and understand how a business operates, from financials to marketing to sales to team leadership to feminine leadership to hiring to systems to policies to all of these things. And so I dropped my biggest investment that I had ever made in any mentor. I think it was like $25,000 for the year. And this was January, so I was barely making $500 a week. And this was like was just over $500 a week payment. And so I remember feeling really scared about this investment, because I was like, I don't even have $500 a week some weeks. And the sales rep on the phone said to me, like, if you're willing to do the work that needs to be done, I promise you that you will make this money back. And I was like, you know what? I am so determined. I've been on my ass before. I can do this. I will make this work. And so I said yes, and I went to work, and I started to mark out time in my calendar for working on the business. I started watching modules. I started asking really, really good questions inside the mentorship container so that I could learn everything that I had not learned about business. And within 12 months, my business majorly turned around, like majorly. I was out of the debt. I had an incredible team that was thriving. I had gone from working 60 plus hours a week on the floor down to just a normal full-time hour week. And I was thriving and no longer like in burnout. It was phenomenal. The changes that had really gone on in that 12-month period was crazy. So then I continued on, but the following year, after that 12 months, I reduced my hours even more, and I started to have more money come into the business. And I was like, this is great. This is amazing. And then I started booking more trips, and, everything started turning around again. I was like, this is so good. And then I started to hit all of these milestones that society deems as, air quotations, successful. And these milestones that I started to reach, I didn't feel any different. I had more money than I could ever imagine in my bank account. I had six figures sitting in my bank account, and the business was still making profit. I was thriving through COVID as well, because I had pivoted the business. I had the most incredible team that I could ever ask for. I was working 2 days a week on the floor. I had a brand new car. We just finished renovating our home. I had a beautiful family. I was a stepmom for 7.5 years. We never went without, right? Like, everything was amazing. And I remember saying to my mentor, something's missing. And she was like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I have everything that, the outside world looking in would think that I've got my life made. And I do. I have an incredible life, but I feel miserable. I don't feel fulfilled. I thought that when I earned a certain amount of money, I would feel different. I thought that when I didn't work crazy hours, I would feel different. I thought that when I had the right team, I would feel different. I thought that when I was driving around in a brand new car, I would feel different. I thought that having a beautiful renovated home would make me feel different. I thought that taking multiple holidays a year would make me feel different. And none of it did. None of it made me feel different. And so then I started to question everything. And I was like, what's the point? I don't understand what the point is. I've ticked all of the boxes, and yet I feel empty. I feel alone. I feel isolated. I feel like something's missing. And I was like, I don't understand this. This is not the happy ending that I was picturing. And I also started to question my relationship, and I started to question, you know, what am I here for? What is my bigger purpose? Like, surely this isn't it. And I remember saying to my partner, Troy, at the time, I remember us laying in bed, and I remember saying to him, there has to be more to life. Surely we weren't put on this earth to get up go to work, come home, cook dinner, do the washing, go to bed, and do it all again the next day. I remember this conversation so vividly. And his response, he said to me was, well, when you figure it out, you let me know. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this is what we're supposed to be doing. So that was when I went on this huge spiritual awakening, because what society had told me would make me happy did not make me happy. And so I started searching for answers elsewhere. And I also ended up leaving my long-term relationship because I felt like I had lost myself along the journey. I felt like I was living my life and building my life according to everybody else's plans. And I didn't even know what made me happy anymore. I didn't even know what hobbies I want. I didn't even have hobbies. I didn't know what I wanted in life anymore. And so going on this beautiful spiritual journey, I started to tap into new age modalities. I started to tap into human design. I started to tap into energetics. I started to tap into inner child work. I started to learn about my feminine flow and my cycles. I started to tap into the chakras and, learning things on a deeper level within our human body. And oh my gosh, I had these epiphanies and these breakthroughs. And I was like, this is the freedom that we all search for, right? Like the inner healing journey is where the freedom comes from. It's not from the external. And I truly believe that there's two levels of happiness. The first level of happiness that we seek is the money, right? We think that we're going to be happy when we earn a certain amount of money. Then we get that, and then it's like, that's not bringing me the fulfillment. And so then the next level of happiness is the deeper, the internal happiness that comes from doing the deeper inner work on yourself. And so as I went on this spiritual journey, I was like, oh my goodness. I sold the salon in 2021. I left my long-term relationship and I went on this beautiful, beautiful, challenging as fuck journey of self-discovery and figured out, who am I? What do I want to do? How do I want to do business? What lights me up? And I was mentoring by this stage, but I realized that the business model that I was creating for women was literally setting them up for the same failure that I had stepped into, of achieving all this money, but then feeling unfulfilled once you had the money. And I was like, that's not what I want for the women that come into my world. The women that come into my world, I want you to, yes, bring the money in, and yes, have the money that creates this beautiful life, but I also want you to find freedom internally as well. I want you to let go of the shackles that you feel are weighing you back. I want you to take that weight off your shoulders. I want you to heal and forgive all of the things that have happened in your life and realize that all of those things have happened for you, not to you. I want you to sync your business with your feminine flow. I want you to tap into your own unique blueprint, not copy what anybody else is doing, not do what somebody tells you you have to do. I want you to really tap into your uniqueness and bring that into the world, because that is where you're going to find the fulfillment, and you're going to find that business that's giving you that heart pounding excitement that you'll probably be missing for quite a while now, right? And so that's when I started to pivot, and I realized, oh my goodness, this is my mission. Everything that I have gone through is a part of the mission, that I'm here to help these women heal and grow and evolve as the whole woman, not just focus on the business growth, because at the end of the day, you are your business. And so when you're your business, you get to focus on you first. You get to figure out what makes you happy. You get to figure out the aligned values that you have at the core, and then you build your business around that. But right now, society tells us it's the other way around, right? Society tells us that we have to build this business model XYZ, and then we get halfway through it and we're like, I don't feel fulfilled, and I feel like I have resentment towards the business. And we want to avoid that, right? We want you to feel aligned. We want you to feel lit up. We want you to do the things that really bring you so much joy. And so that is how Evolve was birthed. And so now what happens is these women, oh my gosh, these women that come inside Evolve are changing their life. They are changing generational patterns and traumas that have gone on because they are focusing on themselves first. They are learning how to sync their business with their flow. They're learning how to build the business with the dream life that they actually want. They're learning how to bring in other areas of their passions into their business, because we are so much more than just salon owners, right? Air quotation marks. You are so talented. You are so multifaceted, and you have gone through so many of your own unique experiences. I truly believe the women inside Evolve are the women that are here to make a big impact. They're not just your standard salon owner. They are women who are here for bigger work, much bigger impact. They're women that want to start bringing in women's circles. They're women that want to change the definition of what the hair and beauty industry is like and is currently known as. They're here to do business in a way that feels good for them. And when these women come into my space and they share with me their vision, it is so much bigger than just this salon owner that does hair or does skin treatments. Like the vision that these women have is either going down the path of mentoring or creating academies so that they can also teach other like-minded women to build their own business so they can be financially free. Or other women start creating women's circles because they realize that along their journey they felt so alone and so isolated, and they wanted to start to build that for their own community, and so they have started to do that. Or you have other women that have been personally impacted by cancer or hair loss or alopecia, and so they want to start being able to create beautiful business models where women are feeling like themselves again. And it's the most beautiful space for you to really reach your fullest potential while you go along this beautiful journey of healing yourself and letting go of things that are no longer aligned for you and the vision that you have for your life. The container is honestly the changes and the transformations that I see happen inside this space is beyond words. And most of the women, when they come into these spaces, will tell you that the growth that they've had in a 12-month period is phenomenal. And the coach and me as a coach and the coaching that happens inside and the support is beyond what they could ever have asked for. And it's such an honor to be able to bring this space. I'm just the conduit. I'm here to deliver this beautiful sacred space for these women to realize that there is no competition, that we all are unique in our own unusual ways, and that is more than perfect. And that's how we should show up to our business, by being able to tap into what we want to create in our own mind and in our own life and bring that to fruition. So that's what Evolve is all about. And oh my gosh, like you can hear my excitement. You can hear how lit up I get by this container, because I truly believe that this is going to be revolutionary for the women that do come inside this space. Literally, these women are changing generational traumas. They are building businesses that no longer require hustle or sacrifice. And oh my goodness, like we are here to change this trajectory of what the hair and beauty industry looks like. We're here to create beautiful jobs and beautiful opportunities for our team to come in and also grow and heal. And if you have not realized yet, you are so much more than a salon owner. You are a mentor, a nurturer, a woman with a really big fucking vision. And I want to help you birth that and bring that to life, because this is what Evolve is all about. And this life that you have here in this lifetime is so short. So remember why you came here. Yeah, you came here and you chose this lifetime for a reason. And it's because you want that heart pounding business that creates the life that you truly dream of and that you know is possible. And you might just need to start stepping into some mentorship to really allow yourself to flourish and let go of any limiting beliefs that you might be currently holding on to that are stopping you from really accessing this next level of yourself. So if this has spoken to you, then I highly recommend that you head to the button below in the show notes here and click that application, because I am waiting for you. I have a huge mission to help more women in the hair and beauty industry to really start tapping into their own uniqueness whilst they heal, grow, and evolve as the whole woman. So please hit that link below and hit that apply button. And I'm so excited to see you inside your most transformative year to come. I'll talk to you soon.